All right, my lovers. Thanks for watching the video. We're talking about the Donner PO-8 dynamic microphone. Reason I got this is because I'm trying to chase the sound of the SM7B. I had a pleasant experience one time in a studio using that. I asked the engineer what was that microphone. They told me this is the SM7B. And so I said, well, this is a really nice microphone. I wrote down the name. I had no idea. I looked up the price. I was like, okay, I guess that's why it's a nice microphone. It's like a bloody $400 mic, which is, I mean, it's worth it if it works for you. That being said, I am frugal, so I'm trying to find an alternative that'll work for me. So I stumbled upon this one, and Amazon makes it pretty easy, right? If it doesn't work out, you return it. So I thought I'd give it a try, and so far, I got to give it a thumbs up. I got to give it a recommend. So what you could be comparing this microphone to is a Shure SM58, PG58, SM57. Like I said, the SM7B. Behringer has a $20 mic. There's affordable mics out there. There's expensive mics. And any of them really honestly could work just depending on your, what the application is for, your comfort. Maybe some microphones you might have to EQ a little bit if you're trying to get a similar sound. If you're comfortable with that, then you can save some money on a microphone. So it just depends, your microphone skill, who's using it. If it's you and you have an intimate relationship with your microphone, you can kind of manage it in ways, if it's a less expensive microphone, to still make it sound good. But if you have guests who don't have microphone technique, you want to consider that kind of stuff too. So those are just all the things that can make a microphone more or less expensive. That being said, this is, the main thing is the value. Like I said, the SM7B, it's $400, but is it a good value? I say yes. Why? Because there's not any other microphone that sounds exactly like that, just has a specific thing that it does. And you can get it close and still get a good sound, but, the SM7B does something very specific. And so it is worth the price. And if you look at these things as long-term investments, every microphone I bought, I tend to keep them for years. So, I look at it in terms of, okay, well, what's a $100 mic if I'm keeping it for 10 years? It's not that big an expense. Even a $400 mic is not a big expense if you look at it along that span. So it's not a big deal to spend $400 on a microphone. But that being said, maybe you're not sure that you want to spend that much money, puns, whatever, but you're not sure that you want to spend that much money. So this is an alternative. So that being said, I think if you got any of the other microphones I mentioned, you could get a great sound. If you used it the right way, you get a great sound. But with this one, you also get a great sound. So let's talk a little bit about what you get for the price. I paid $63 for it. I think it was like $80 or something. They give you a bunch of coupons and stuff. Amazon does it at times. But at the time I'm making this video, I got it for $63 mailed to me. It came with a windscreen. It came with two mic mounts. It came with this mount here, this kind of ring mount. And then it comes with a shock mount also. It comes with an XLR cable, a decent XLR cable, pop filter. And so looking at those accessories, you could, I priced it out on Amazon. You could spend about $50 on those accessories realistically. So it's a good value, and they're all solid pieces of equipment. The pop filter that I got is similar to one that I already own. And the windscreen works really well. Pop, 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 plosives. Pop, 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 rejecting the pop, 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 Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle, pepperoni pizzas, plosives. So the plosive rejection is pretty decent. And, this is a dynamic microphone, so you do want to talk close, but, you could back up and just kind of see how it sounds. Like I'm going to back up, backing up, backing up, backing up. I don't know the distance, but I'm just going back. I'm about 2 feet now. I'm about 3 feet now. And then I'm coming back. And then I'm coming back. And here we are again. And so, you're not going to use a dynamic microphone to capture room sound. I guess you could, but it's not the best application for it. And then we'll check a little bit of the off axis. So I'm kind of side addressing. And it sounds pretty decent. You can address it from the front. It sounds just even a little bit more... has kind of a little bit even more resonance, I feel, when you hit it from the front. But even from the side sounds good. Now we're getting to a place where it's off-axis sound. Off-axis, you can hear that. You can hear that. Now we're back again. So it's pretty good. I mean, you know, it kind of rejects the off-axis sound like you would expect. You have kind of a polar pattern that allows you to do side address and address direct on, and they still kind of have the good sound to it. A nice feature that this has is a little attenuator, high pass filter. Right now I'm using it without the filter. It's just the straight sound, which I'm finding as I use it more, I think for broadcasting, I think that's a sound that I really like. But it's also there. Hold on, I'll give you a second. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now I'll say the two phrases and I'll roll it off. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now I'll put the high pass filter on. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So you can hear the difference. Like I said, I feel like it's a tiny bit fuller without that bass roll off. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And again, like I said, for the price, the value, it's quite a value. Now, yeah, like I said, if you got a used SM58, PG58, you would get a good microphone and you would can get a good sound. So because I already have those microphones, it allowed me kind of the freedom to try this instead. If you were getting your first microphone, I recommend an SM58. But that being said, this is still a good one. Now, why, I'm going to keep this microphone out and I'm going to use it and I'm going to put it to work. But why would I buy an SM58 over this? Mainly because the form factor of the SM58 is it just so easy to hold. It's the form factor is easy to mount. You can mount it in a variety of ways. So it just makes it really, really easy to work with, honestly. And then the sound you get is from SM58 they've been used in so many studios for a reason, because they work, and that's the main thing, is that they work. So that is why I would get one of those, because they work with a lot of situations. You can use very light mic stands to prop them up. With this microphone, it's heavy, it's bulky, so you need I've got a boom arm, and that's fine. I can budget that out, and that's not a big deal. But if you cannot, it's something to consider, because this isn't as easy to mount. Like the mic stands that you use with this need to be a little bit more heavy duty, meaning that it might work on some stands, but if you try to slant it out a little, it'll start to get droopy and stuff. So that's the one thing with this. The con, I would say, it's not a con, but it's not a con to this particular microphone, but it's a con to broadcast microphones in general, is that their form factor means that you tend to have to mount them a little bit differently. That being said, I don't know how heavy the Shure SMBs. It was all mounted up for me, so I wasn't thinking about those kind of things at the time. So I'm not sure how heavy that would be to mount. But this one it's a little bit bulky to mount in terms of the heaviness of it. So the form factor is like I would say a con, right? So you need a heavy duty stand, but that's about the only con I would say about this mic. Everything else is pretty good. The plosive rejection, I mean, it really reacts like a microphone should, and for the value and the price that you paid for it, you're really getting a good value. And so let me do a little quick test with the acoustic guitar, see how that sounds. I'm playing guitar on my new Donner microphone, and I don't know how many people will watch this review, but I think that the acoustic guitar sounds pretty good. So, you can picture yourself if you were a teacher or something like this. I'm running it with a Canon M50 and I have a nice Sigma lens with it so I get a clear image. But, imagine if you're using this for your Zoom calls and this is the image you're getting. I'm literally recording this in OBS. So this is, there'll be some compression or something as you see it online. But that's the, whatever you're seeing on your image is kind of the image you would expect to see. If if you were on a Zoom or a Skype or something like this, or online with someone. So, for voiceovers, you could use this to record. I mean, I feel like it sounds pretty decent. So definitely a keeper. Yeah, definitely a buy. I would recommend this, highly recommend this. I think this is a great value. So let me know what you think. Let me know which ones dynamic microphones you have used, what you think works for you, and what you think of the sound quality of this one. So thanks so much, my lovers, and talk soon.